Married with Channels podcast. I'm Moose.
I'm Jody.
Guess what? We're a married couple and we watch channels. Hence the name Married with Channels. It's not that hard. Come on, people. Brought to you by Honey. Go to joinhoney.com/married to get the free plugin for your browser.
It's a podcast about TV watching and sometimes movies.
And sometimes movies. We will have some sometimes movies in just a bit. But right now we are going to start with, the show that's pretty hot on Netflix, Squid Game, which is out of Korea. I don't know. I'm a little I don't know why we didn't check this out earlier. I think it's because I thought it was actually like a show where it kind of seemed like it was a reality game show.
Oh.
You know, and it had that kind of video look about it.
Yeah, no.
For some reason, I never watched a trailer. I just saw
I did.
the little promotional items here and there, pictures, and it just looked, I don't know. I saw the buzz and then I'm like,
Okay, you thought it was something entirely different. I saw a trailer, and after I saw the trailer, I was like, oh, what is this?
And what is this indeed? Because Squid Game is freaking blowing your mind away.
Yeah.
Like this show, we've watched the first episode.
Yeah. One episode in.
So far, it's like, wow, this is phenomenal. Like, why did this not happen sooner? If you don't know what the Squid Game is, basically, it's a drama. Starts off about this guy who's kind of a nincompoop / freeloader who has a kid. He owes money to the wrong people.
He's got a big gambling problem.
And he gets somehow swooped into this thing called, I don't know if it's called the Squid Game. The Squid Game is the game that was in the flashback at the beginning.
Sure.
Like I said, we've only got the one episode, so maybe the second episode or 3 will explain what this is actually called. But basically, all these people who owe a shit ton of money, who are down on their luck, agree to do this thing where they essentially play these games that if they don't win, they die.
Yeah.
And that was kind of the twist there 3/4 of the way through when they played the red light, green light game.
Yeah.
And I actually have a clip. This is from nobody knows exactly what's going on other than they're playing the game. One guy fell down and you thought he got shot, but it wasn't confirmed. So this other guy who he's kind of maybe buddy with comes up to him and says hey, you can get up now.
Mm-hmm.
너 탈락이야, 병신아. 개쇼하지 말고 일어나.
Coughs up blood. Sensors catches motion. Starts running. Gets shot. And gunshots, people getting shot all over the place.
Panic ensues.
Just insane. It's like, this show is like Hunger Games meets The Truman Show meets Saw.
Oh, that's a good way to put that. Yeah. Sure.
And it's I don't know what we're trying to say with this show. It seems like we're talking about like the haves versus the have-nots, you know, maybe a statement about financial responsibility.
Maybe risk-taking.
Risk-taking. Yeah, I don't know. But it's a very well-done show.
I kind of like some of the character development, too. Like, you see this guy and his relationship with his daughter and his mother, you know, kind of familial stuff there. And, you know, you kind of get a good picture of who this main character is.
Yeah, and it's interesting because it starts out with him, and the character's name is, and I'm going to screw this up because I don't do Korean, Seong Ji-hoon, I think is his character's name. He's starting out like kind of a shithead. Yeah. You know, kind of a nincompoop.
Yeah. Mooching off his mom.
Mooching off his mom, steals her ATM card.
Yeah. Can't spend his daughter's birthday with her. You know, he's at the racetrack trying to win big and ends up not doing so and can't get her a nice birthday dinner or a gift.
But they show him having dinner with his daughter, and you start to feel for the guy a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, he obviously cares about his daughter. He's just maybe impulsive and not very thinking the longer game. You know, like, I probably shouldn't go to the track. you know?
I think he's that guy who just always hopes he's going to win big, but almost
Yeah.
like to his own detriment, though. You know, like it's a gambling addiction, I think.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
So he gets sucked into this, this game where people will die if they don't win these kid games.
Yeah. Craziness.
Yeah. And like you said, we're seeing a good character kind of develop here. I'm wondering if they're going to focus in on other characters.
Right.
They've already kind of established 4 other characters. There's the old man, number 1.
Yeah.
There's the guy Ali, who's looks like he's of Middle Eastern descent. He's there.
Yeah.
You've got the girl who stabbed the one guy in the back. Not
Yeah.
literally,
The pickpocket.
yeah, the
girl,
pickpocket
yeah.
girl, and the guy with the neck
tattoo. Also, is it a childhood friend? Is that
Yeah.
some big highfalutin job,
Yeah.
but he embezzled a bunch of money? And
Well, we don't know yet.
well, they showed his video. Remember?
Oh, okay. I missed that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's interesting too, because it's easy to write it off like, okay, this is about poor people who owe money having to do, crazy shit to get out of debt.
Sure.
But it almost bridges the class lines, and it almost like it's a statement about impulsivity and just making the wrong decision,
Sure.
or greed,
Sure.
maybe. Because his buddy, who's supposed to be well off,
Mhm.
doing great, he's there too.
Yeah.
But this show, I mean, it's good pace. It's interesting. The characters are pretty interesting. You got some vivid characters there. And it looks like nothing I've ever seen before. Like the one shot, it's like an overhead shot of the interior of them going to the main entrance for the field,
Sure.
where it's all pink and almost pastel colors.
Uh-huh.
I thought that was like artwork there.
Huh.
Almost like an Escher painting.
Interesting. I didn't pick up on that, but the set pieces themselves are
Yeah.
intricate and interesting, and like I really want to know what's going on.
Yeah. The question, though, is going to be, excuse me, will it be just every episode? And again, we've watched only the first episode. Will Squid Game, every episode, be focusing on a new character, or just the same 3-4 characters working through a different game?
Yeah, I don't
And
know.
that's easy. I don't know
Sure.
if that's the most, satiating, fulfilling way for doing a TV show. Like, I hope they bring in some more character development stuff. Like, I kind of want to know about the pickpocket. I kind of want to know about the neck tattoo guy a little bit. I definitely want to know about Ali. I mean, to see a Middle Eastern guy in Korea, obviously that's not unheard of, but,
I want to know about the puppet master, the guy sitting there creepy watching all these people die. Like,
yeah, the front man.
yeah.
And I have audio of the front man, too. Here's, this is the only English in the episode.
This is the frontman speaking. Preparations for the first game are complete. You can begin now.
Interesting that whole character, he's got the different mask.
Yeah.
He goes into this room where there's like this nice decanter of some bourbon or something.
Yeah.
Takes his mask off, enjoys the festivities on the screen as
Has
people are getting killed.
has that weird jazz puppet show going on
Yeah.
there. Like, what
Yeah.
was that?
Like there's a little bit of surreality going on with
Yeah.
this show, which is not kind of alienating.
Sure.
Like sometimes Goliath gets a little bit like
Yeah.
that, where you're like,
Sure.
but it's enough. I think it works and it lends to what they're trying to say. Like the jazz puppet thing and the music all works.
Huh.
At least in episode 1 anyway. We'll see.
Sure.
I have a theory about number 1.
You do.
I think he's been there a long time.
Yeah.
A, he's number 1.
Yeah.
B, he's old. And when they were doing the red light, red light, whatever.
Yeah.
He was very confident about
Yeah.
it.
He was like, I got nothing else to lose here. I'm going for this.
So either he's new
Yeah.
/ he was the first in this new batch, let's say, or he's been there a while and has done it and knows how things work and is not tripped up by any of this.
I don't know. I think he's just old enough to not.
Give a shit?
Yeah.
Maybe.
to not care. He's like, whatever, I'm going to die soon anyway because I'm dirt old. So
Yeah.
what do I have to lose?
Yeah. But
That-
Squid Game, I wish we checked it out earlier, but we'll definitely keep watching.
I will say, it is not in English for our listeners. It's not in English. I get sleepy when I read.
I know.
So I had to finish up the last 20 minutes separately from our viewing time because reading the closed captions made me sleepy. I literally fell asleep.
It's the best TV show I've ever read. No, but it's worth it. It's worth it. Sometimes reading a show can kind of take you out of it a little bit.
Sure.
Like you just kind of miss something maybe, but that doesn't seem to be the case here.
Sure.
So Squid Game, if you're one of the 2 people who haven't heard of it or checked it out, you should. And let us know what your thoughts are on Squid Game in the comments of the podcast. I don't know. Right?
Yeah.
Cool. Squid Game done?
Yeah.
And of course, like we mentioned, the show is brought to you by Honey.
Yeah.
Which,
I'm totally going to use for this thing.
This thing.
This thing I want.
It's not a fire pit. It's a fire pit table.
Sweet.
And it's propane. And
Even
so
better.
when we're recording this, it's fall. It's like that weather where at night it's cool and crisp.
Yes.
It's perfect fire weather.
Perfect. But we don't have time to gather firewood. And then someone has to watch it for safety to make sure it goes out before we go to bed. And also, I don't like smelling like a campfire and having to shower before I go to bed.
Yeah, this thing Jody found is it's a gas fire pit, so it uses propane, but it's got a little table. It's got the little flames coming out the top. Looks real nice. And it's more importantly, because of the Honey plug-in, it's about $100 off.
Yeah.
So this is normally $300. It's it's about $190.
Yeah,
So that's good that you want to get it, huh?
I do.
Where do we put that?
Outside. Hello.
Is it like rust resistant? That's my biggest, because we got that piece of crap fire pit that's been rusted for 10 years.
Mm.
And we always say we're going to sit outside next to a fire, but we never do. But this might actually.
Because this would make it more convenient.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No wood is good.
I mean, I like the real deal. Don't get me wrong. I love wood burning stoves and fireplaces that are wood fireplaces, but I just don't have time for that. And I want to enjoy a fire without all that. So.
I am the god of hellfire.
And now Honey made it super cheap to do so. So
I know, right?
I think we should do that.
Yeah, thanks to that Honey plugin. Available on just about every browser. Well, pretty much every browser, indeed. I mean, $100 off this fire pit table and so many other things. There's like 30,000 stores where the Honey plugin works. Over $2 billion in savings. This is $100 in savings. So, save money. Go to joinhoney.com/married. Do it. It helps us out and you save money. There's a lot of win-win here. And finally, we go back 5 years.
Yeah.
Takes us 5 years to get to a movie.
I know. We're kind of slow on the movie side, aren't we?
This is a movie that I heard about maybe a year after it came out. And ever since then, I've been wanting to check it out. It's called Don't Breathe.
I never heard of this movie until we watched it. So
Well, you don't hear about a lot of movies.
I know. I'm not into the audio video club like you are.
You got Jane Levy, who I think is great.
Yeah.
Stephen Lang, remember him from Avatar, and he's been in some other stuff. He's one of those guys that he always nails it. He's probably never going to be super famous, but
Sure.
he's really good. Basically, the premise is these 3 hooligans are looking, they rob houses, and they hear that this one house in, deserted Detroit neighborhood, number 4, whatever,
Yeah.
is sitting on like a $300,000 settlement from a car accident that killed his daughter.
Yes.
And so they're going to go rob him. And oh yeah, he's blind,
Yeah.
but he's an Army vet, served in Iraq. So he's blind. Should be easy, right? No, it's not. Things get complicated. And there's a twist.
They do. And okay, so probably the first half of the movie, I didn't breathe. It was very suspenseful, and I was like, okay, they got through that part. Okay, that scared me, but I got to breathe.
Yeah.
So,
No, it's very suspenseful. It's very good pace. It's got some good action. I think there's some holes there.
Yes.
But it's one of those movies like I'm willing to look past some of the reality stuff that wasn't addressed
Yeah.
because A, I like the premise, and B, it was very well done. Like the direction's great, the acting's great. We even get a little backstory on some of these characters, like Jane Levy's character
Sure.
is in a shitty house. She just wants to take her sister and move away from their abusive mom, start a new life. So this $300,000 haul will definitely help that.
Sure.
And, I just, like I said, the premise is great. The stuff that bothered me, though, is, I would think a guy who's a war veteran, let me put that aside. A blind guy who's been blind for, if he served in Iraq, we'll say at least 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
Your other senses are beefed up.
Heightened.
They're heightened. Yeah.
Mhm.
Like your smell, your hearing,
Sure.
and especially somebody who's like survived war, they will probably make sure that happens. They will probably make those ears really good,
Yeah.
And the fact that he didn't hear the shoelaces on their boots, flip around as they walked,
Yeah.
was like a little surprising for me.
I know there were a couple moments where I was like, oh, he would totally smell them, hear them whimpering, any of those movements. I mean, your clothing rustles, and if you close your eyes, you can hear that. So I don't know. Yeah, some of the logic there, I was like, what?
Yeah,
really?
like, for instance, I think when they first break into the house, they kind of bust a window
Yeah.
pane.
Yes.
And when they did that, I was like, oh, he's coming after him.
Oh, yeah.
But nothing happened.
Also, the dog didn't hear that?
Well, the dog was knocked out.
Well, that's true. Well, he makes a comeback later.
He
But
does, yeah.
yeah, that was kind of Cujo-like.
It was.
That's what it reminded me of. There's a certain scene, if you watch this movie, you'll know what I'm talking about. That was totally Cujo.
Very much.
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. There were, for me too, like every scary movie where, there's kind of a bad guy and people are hiding, or there's so many opportunities where you're like, no, just go the other way. What are you doing? And then they go where they absolutely should not go. Or, let's go through this complicated escape route instead of the obvious door that's 3 feet away. I don't know.
Are you talking about the scene that kind of culminated in the blind guy reaching across the shelving and choking the one guy? One kid?
No, it more so when they're still upstairs before they get downstairs to the.
Oh, okay.
And what's going on down there? That's like a hoarder palace in that house.
I don't know. Doomsday prep, maybe?
I don't know. That was crazy. That's a crazy amount of Costco shelves in there.
Yeah.
All.
All I know is that Alex kid, he's
Yeah.
got 9 lives.
Yeah, right? There was so many times that I thought he was dead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's interesting about this movie is you don't know who to root for exactly.
Right?
I think even after the big twist,
Yeah.
I'm not saying you're rooting for, I won't say who,
Right.
but you're still kind of feeling for him a little bit.
I mean,
Obviously, that's extreme what he was doing,
sure.
but
But also people are coming to rob his house. That's the part you have to kind of remember too, is he's just defending his house. I mean,
I know. I like how I'm coding things.
yeah,
Even though this movie's been out for 5 years.
I know. But in case no one's checked it out, we
Yeah.
don't want to spoil it for people too. But I don't know. There's some twists and turns. I still kind of felt like, nah, he's the bad guy.
The blind man.
Yeah. I was really rooting for Rocky,
But he wasn't.
even though
yes.
she's doing something criminal.
Yeah, it's interesting. She's doing bad stuff. But
Yeah.
I think in movies, when people who we can empathize with and
Sure.
make bad decisions
Yeah.
for a good cause, for a
Right.
good purpose,
Yeah.
you're willing to look past, oh, she stole that ring at the jewelry store.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously it's movies, not real life, but I would think, that they did a good job of making us kind of root for Rocky, Jane Levy's character. But I think up until the twist, I think you're kind of, maybe you root for the blind guy because he's just at his home and, his daughter got killed. We know that at that point. And, he lives in a shitty neighborhood. He didn't deserve to be robbed. But then the twist happens, and you're kind of like, okay, well, kind of not rooting for him much anymore.
Yeah.
But Don't Breathe, I thought it was good. I liked it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I liked it.
I mean, it's a good suspenseful thing. Some improbabilities in there, but
Yeah.
Go with it.
Yeah, enjoy it. And don't forget to breathe.
Yeah. I can't wait to watch Don't Breathe 2 and be wholly disappointed. 'Cause
Oh,
I'm sure
my.
it'll suck.
There's a sequel.
Yeah,
Oh.
it came out like this year, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Anything else?
No, I don't believe so.
Roger that.
Maybe next week.
Maybe next week we'll have some more stuff for you, of course. It's the Married with Channels podcast. Join us on the podcast provider of your choosing, whether it's the Apple or the Google Play podcast stuff or Stitcher, whatever the hell. Give us a good review if you could. Subscribe to the podcast. That helps us out. Go to joinhoney.com/married. Download that plugin. That helps us out as well.
Share, tell your friends.
Absolutely. Until next time, I'm Moose.
And I'm Jody.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Later.